Alrighty guys, we got an interesting video today, a little different than what we typically do. We got our Peterbilt tractor and our lowboy, and we have a tri-axle that we're taking. We're going to Maine. It's a 10-hour ride. We were supposed to leave an hour ago. We're not ready to leave for at least an hour or two. So we're gonna get there pretty late. The plan was to be there bright and early, before sunrise, maybe nap for an hour or two, and then do what we got to do. It's going to take all day for us to load this stuff because it's just me and Connor. So that's going to be fun. We welded a winch on the lowboy. We got ropes, pulleys. We got a tri-axle. We got the Peterbilt. So we're not working with much to do what we got to do. I'm kind of curious if you guys, if I didn't put it in the title, I don't know what I'm making the title yet. I'm curious, drop a comment before you watch the whole video what you think we're taking a tri-axle 10 hours to Maine for. But before we leave, I need a shower. I smell like this dumpster. I can't tell if it's a dumpster or me. Either way, it's not good. But we're pretty much loaded up. Got everything we could ever need. We got two men, two boys. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but we're picking up one cool thing. The other two we're gonna get another time. And we're getting something else cool that we need trailer tires for. We have something similar to this that we got in Florida. We blew 6 tires coming from Florida, which is, if I had to guess, I'd say 15-20 hours. So say this is half the drive. So I think it's fair to say we only blow 3 this time. I don't know. We got 3 cool things that we need trailers for, and we got one thing that has a trailer. Once you find out, put a comment, like I said, what you think the tri-axle is for. Once you find out what we're doing and what we're getting with the tri-axle, I want you to put comments down below what you want us to do with it. I got some pretty cool ideas and I got some pretty cool plans, and you guys are gonna like it. So without further ado, I'm going home, I'm showering, and we're gonna get on the road. We got a long trip ahead of us. These trucks are probably very loud. Connor showed up.
It's very late.
It's very late. We're only 3 hours after we were supposed to leave. So that means we'll get there and we get right to work. We don't get to sleep at all, which is good. Puts us right to work. What are your predictions? Are we gonna have any problems?
0 issues, not a slightest bit.
I will say, I went to get iced coffee and the kid at the store gave me a bag because I wanted to get a bunch. He told me I'd be okay. I put him in the bag and I walked over to pay. One of them fell out the bottom and slammed on the floor and shattered everywhere.
Oh yeah.
He was very upset,
a good start.
And I looked at him and I said, oh no. And then another one fell out and slammed on the floor.
Oh no.
And I put him on the counter. He was very mad.
I think we should go to bed.
I told him we're going to Maine, it's 10 hours. And he said if what just happened in his store happens to us, if our trip is anything like that, we should just go to bed and not even go.
I would have to agree with him.
I said, I don't know if that's how our trip's gonna go. And he said, I hope it does after what happened to my floor.
Okay.
So, we're already off to a bad start. I just want to put that out there. And now we'll have a cute little time lapse of a drive. And we arrived. Not by much, but we made it. I saw Connor drifting. It's like a drifter back there.
I was fading.
It was rough.
I was fading.
It was rough. I don't like driving over a couple hours. And that was a good one straight. Like a couple good rides straight. We got an even bigger trip coming up in 2 weeks. You think this was a good warm-up, Connor?
I think this is a very good warm-up.
Because this drive here and back isn't even going to be the drive there.
No, not at all.
It's not going to be our first time doing it.
It's not even going to be half the drive there.
No. It's not our first time doing it, but it's going to be our second time. Technically third. Technically third. We're going to go sleep. I don't really have many brain cells moving right now. They're all kind of just hanging out. So We're gonna take a little nappy for an hour. It's like 5:30.
5:30, yeah.
I can't believe how bright out it is here. Tanner said it was dark at home. I said, you gotta open your eyeballs.
Yeah. That's because when his curtains close, it's gonna be dark.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, open your eyes, and he said no.
For a beautiful sunset, we didn't get that either.
I don't think we drove far enough to make the time change that much, but apparently it did. I don't know. We're gonna go take a nappy. In an hour or two, we'll show you what we bought here. And show you what we have to manage to do. Not looking forward to it, that's for sure. Alright guys, long story short, I bought some hammocks. These things have been sitting 20 years. This was actually the first batch of hammocks that the US government sold. And they came here, and they pretty much died here. There's 9 power units and about 11 trailers between cargos, flatbeds, fifth wheels, and 1 wrecker body, and a fully armored one. These are the old 8V92s, and this is the only armored one that I know in existence. There's the newer cats, like the C15 hammocks. There's a few of those that are armored that are floating around. They're sweet and they're insanely expensive. Like, you're talking 100, 200,000 just for the armor. This thing's not in good shape at all, but the armor's in half decent shape. The glass ain't that great. It's not in great shape, but it's cool because there's literally not another one in existence that I know of. The plan was to buy all these, but as far away as they are, it's not feasible to get them back. We don't have the time. We don't have time to do anything, let alone take 20 trips up here for trucks. But we ended up buying the armored one, the one that I just showed you that Connor was working on, and this one. The one Connor's working on, the interior is pretty nice in, and this one, if I remember correctly, the interior is pretty nice in. These things are like brand new. When I say these were the first lot of hammocks sold, I'm not kidding. This guy has an insane collection. We're talking buildings and buildings, like probably 100,000, maybe 200,000 square feet of climate controlled buildings for trucks that are like pristine. They used to buy directly from the government before the government had auctions at GovPlanet, and they would buy whatever they were getting rid of. So like these, I think he said they were like 15 of them and like 20 trailers. They did some stuff with a couple of them, and the rest have been sitting here since. He said the first lot of Humvees that ever got sold, he bought 350 Humvees. They were the first ones ever sold, and he said he made a shitload of money on them. He paid about 10 grand a piece for them and sold them all between 40 and 50,000, because at the time they were just coming out, everybody was wanting them. This building here is probably 50,000 square foot and was full of 5 tons. I'll show you later. He's gonna let me film in 2 of the buildings that are full of 5 tons, Humvees, a couple weird things, and he's got a couple prototypes, which is what that Hennet is, that armored one. It was some weird prototype armor, so it's nothing crazy. It's like a lighter armor. And then he's got some Humvees that are like weird prototype. Like, I thought they were fake, but they came right from a military base like that, so obviously they were something, prototype something. Ready? We'll see if she starts. That didn't even crank. Turner's got her living off starting fluid. Will it run on its own? How? That line's leaking horribly now. Shut it down. Well, we woke up. Well, what, half hour sleep?
I don't even know know if I got that.
I don't even know.
The low boy's not very comfortable as bad.
No, Connor was sleeping on the low boy and had a pillow on the ramps. We ended up pumping one of these tanks out, the main tank into the other tank, and putting fresh fuel in it, getting it going. The lines are leaking like crazy. This filter's got a rust hole in it. Nothing's going good for us. Look at that. Hole there. Got a hole there. Where's this other rust hole?
Bottom.
Rust hole right in the bottom there. Another one right there. Never seen a filter rust through like that. It's very nice, very convenient. So we're gonna steal a filter off another truck. Got it running, runs good. But we need new fuel lines. This thing's probably gonna need a little bit of everything new. So, probably not gonna do much talking. We got a lot of work to do to try to get one of these trucks loaded, but we'll see how it goes. This cargo already looks better. This thing was sky high. We're gonna attempt to back this power unit right into this one, since that thing has major fuel leaks. Connor's jacking the back up, which should lower our front. I'm hoping we can shoot that in here, and of these 16 bolts, at least stick 2 of them in or something. And then this will be here, and we can drive it right up on a trailer. If everything goes good, we'll see. All right, we got a snatch block, 200-foot rope, tri-axle, 2 snatch blocks. We got a double line here. Well, I guess technically we have a triple. I don't know why I double. I believe the Hemet should roll back. In theory, those brakes are set -1 wheel, and as soon as the jacks come back down, it should be all right. It exploded as Connor was trying to lift it. I tried picking it back up so we could back the thing into it, and it exploded as he was pumping it. We had like 4 6x6s stacked up here and a 4x4. We're actually missing a 6x6. It was very mean, and exactly how it sits is what happened. It was how it happened. But we're gonna attempt to pull these together. I'm feeling pretty confident. I think it's gonna work. I hope it works, because if not, I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know, it's the moment of truth. Well, the trailer didn't even budge nor set down, and the Hemet just dropped right out of place. Walked right out of place. It's actually working pretty good. Working really well. Also, we got a 20,000-pound rope. So, in theory, triple line pull, we would never break it, even if the brakes were locked on these things. Now the Hemet's starting to turn, so I don't know how we're gonna straighten her back out, but we can pull it sideways since the brakes are caged and free. We're running out of room now. Now she's down on the ground. That is perfect. Now we just gotta straighten it out a little bit and maybe stick some speed binders on there and winch her together. I don't know how well this is gonna work. We stuck some wood in between the bump stop on the axle and in between the frame, and in theory that should keep this thing from picking up. You would think they would make a block from factory for those, so they don't do that with that big cargo crane on the back, so don't wheelie. I'm gonna try to pull this closer. Try to use the truck because it's a far distance yet. Oh, it didn't do much of turning there. I have one more idea. So we're gonna attempt, since this thing's not turning and it needs to be like 3 feet that way. Oh, it's like 4 feet that way. We're just gonna try and turn the whole Hemet like this, and then back it up as close as we can, and this articulates. So then we're just gonna try to turn that into it. It'll be turned, but it should work, so we'll see. To get him somewhat straight. I don't know what Connor's doing. I think he's lost his mind. I think we all lost our mind. We're so close.
I'm coming up with a solution.
We're so close yet so far. Well, kind of worked. Now we're gonna get the trailer down and it would be perfect. The only reason this works and you're allowed to do this is because trained professionals are doing it. We're blocking the frame and the suspension up so that when that falls, it can't twist back. And in theory, she should go together. There we go, that's what we want. Now we just gotta get them pins in. Getting real close. This is either gonna drop in nicely or slam in, and it's cutting a gouge, so I think it's gonna slam. Watch in case the jack. Oh, there it goes. It just has a bunch of tension, it's slowly rolling it in. Nice.
That one as ideal as it could have.
That is perfect. Let's get like two. Yeah, let's get like 2 or 4 bolts in this. Now they're binding. Whoa! That is what we want. That is perfect. I want everybody to comment right now how long we've been doing this, and it's been raining on and off all day. It's moist. It's wet. Comment how long you think it took us to do this.
Hint, it's not as fast as I put them bolts in.
Yeah, it's a little slower, I will say that. But let's just, I want to show this thing off. Look how clean this thing is for sitting 20 years. You see that? 80 hours. 145 miles. And this thing fired right up. They had this panel off and that panel. So we took some other stuff off trying to get the transmission to shift. But this thing runs like a rape ape. I am very impressed how well this runs. I'm very impressed with it. This thing doesn't even crank, it just starts. Big mistake, Connor. I started it and it immediately turned itself straight. That actually might be good. I'm gonna do that now on purpose and see if we can get this straight, because it's a little cattywampus. In theory, we got it locked straight, we got it bolted together, we should be good. Oh yeah, she's gonna go. She is gonna go. We'll block it so it gets out of its hole every time he hits it. See, right like that. Again, 6 inches at a time. That's a lot. 6 inches is huge. Two more times. Oh, we got a hole on this side too. Oh, that didn't sound good. There it goes. That's it. What were you about to say? You ready to go home?
I'm ready to go home.
I'm ready to go home too. Let's have a little recap. We're so frustrated, I hardly didn't film anything. I'm sure we'll still blow them, and they're different than the ones we have. And Connor just lost one in the center.
That's just how she's
Today
going.
is not a good day. We had to cut the neck off, part of the neck off to fit the thing. Connor's dying over here.
Doesn't come back. How does it go in but doesn't come out?
You can't even make that up. What else went wrong? Tire blew off the bead. We had to fix that. Connor went to check the air pressure. The guy said, oh, I got an air pressure gauge. Connor pushes it on and it explodes in his hand. And the guy goes, well, I was only good for like 40 or 50 PSI. Well, why would you give it to us to check something that we know all the other ones had 90 and that we know they have to take 70? And then he was mad that it broke.
You missed
what else?
The part where we couldn't turn.
Yeah, we couldn't turn at all. So we could have drove like 20 some hours and came up here again to get it with something else, but that ain't happening. So we cut the neck off. I don't know what else at this point. I'm sure we'll have lots of problems on the way home. We put this winch mount on so we can winch these things on here. Well, that winch mount's too close and the winch doesn't go in, so then we had to get an extension. So now it's good. Battery hit 85%, died, and now it won't even charge. Connor, you're gonna unwind the winch, stop. Connor almost just unwound the winch, then we really would have been fucked. Other thing, we had another 6x6 here that we lost. It caught the low boy. It ripped the shock mount right off the axle. So we gotta fix that too. So that's cool.
Oh, that's nice.
I could keep going on and on. And I'm sure there's probably 40 minutes of footage here. So we'll probably make 2 videos out of literally nothing and problems and things just going wrong. I don't know what to do anymore. I think I'm just gonna give up and maybe go sleep in one of these trucks and just never wake up. That one, okay. Because I feel like I could sleep for a week right now. And I guess we'll see if this 12,000 pound winch can handle pulling on the Hammett. I don't know. I guess we'll get disconnected and try.